I'm going to start complex numbers from the beginning. You're welcome to fast forward and skip to the parts that you need, but I'm just going to start from the beginning here. So anytime we take the square root of a negative number, instead of saying non-real answer, we're now going to have what's called an imaginary number for an answer, which is the I. My mouse was going really fast here. Give me just a second. There we go. So I is -1. I'm going to actually highlight that instead of trying to do that box. Anytime we square root a negative number, we're going to have I as part of our answer. So I is defined as the square root of -1. Everything else about square roots will stay the same. It's just if there's a negative underneath, you will add an I to your answer. The other part about I to remember is that if we square it, we get exactly -1. So if we were to square a square root, it undoes it, and we're left with just -1. So those two pieces of information are what we're going to focus on for this course about imaginary numbers. Now, if you take other math courses, maybe some higher level physics courses, you'll learn more about imaginary numbers. But for this class, maybe engineering courses too. But anyway, for this class, those are the only two things you need to know. Everything else about square roots stays the same. So for the square root of -25, that is a product of -1 and 25. So the square root of -1, sorry, this is going way too fast. It's making my mouse jump everywhere. I apologize. -1, square root of -1 is, why do you keep doing that? Okay. Just going to put a dot again. Try not to, there we go. Or not. Okay. And then the square root of 25 is 5, so the way we write our answer is 5i. I think I adjusted my pen pressure here. Let me try again. Should be a little better. There we go. So for -12, it's -1 and 12. The square root of -1 is going to be I. And then for 12, the square root, oh my goodness, sorry, I'm trying to get my pen to work correctly. Your square root of +12 can be broken down into 4 and 3. You want to think of a pair of factors for 12 where one of them is a perfect square. So I wouldn't pick 2 and 6 because 2 is not a perfect square and 6 is not a perfect square. I would not pick 1 and 12 because that's not going to get me anywhere. So you only pick numbers that multiply to 12 where one of the factors is a perfect square. And we'll keep practicing that, and you can look up, it's called simplifying radicals. My pen is being very uncooperative. Simplifying radicals. You can search it, you can look in your book in the review section, but being able to do that is going to come in handy for the rest of the course. Okay, so the square root of 4 is just 2. The square root of 3, keeps doing that, is just the square root of 3. It's a decimal that we don't want to work with. So the square root of -12 is 2 from the perfect square 4, I from the negative, and then square root 3 because that's not a whole number, not a perfect square. And that is my answer. For -13, the square root of -13, we have -1 and 13. The square root of -1 is I. The square root of 13, 13 does not have any multiples. It's prime, or any factors rather. It is prime. And the only pair is 1 and 13, which doesn't get us anywhere. So the answer would just be I, and you keep it radical 13. Okay, so if it's a perfect square, you take out the perfect square, and your I represents the negative that was under the radical. If it's not a perfect square, you still take out the -1 for I, and you break that number into factors where one of those factors is a perfect square, and that's how you write your answer. Go ahead and try SP1, pause the video and try it on your own. I will write down the answers here in just a second. not what I was trying to do. Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to change pen colors here. There we go. Okay. So for the square root of negative 81, you should have gotten 9i. Does not like when I make a dot. I'm going to make a little slash. Oh, doesn't like that either. Okay. 9i. And then for the square root of negative 50, we've got negative 1 and 50. Man, this pen is being a pain. Okay. Now with 50, we want to think of two numbers that multiply to 50, but one of them needs to be a perfect square. So 5 and 10 multiply to 50, but 5 is not a perfect square and 10 is not a perfect square. So the only pair that works here would be 25 and 2. The square root of 25 is just 5. Square root of 2 is a decimal, so we're just going to leave it square root of 2. So altogether you should get 5. From the negative we'll get I, and then radical 2. 5i radical 2. On the 11, all we can do is negative 1 and 11. So the answer is going to be I radical 11. Okay, so that's just simplifying the radical, rewriting it in terms of I. Now we're going to use those same ideas to multiply, divide, add, subtract. We're going to start doing multiple things with these radicals. When you go to multiply these radicals, the square root of negative 9 is 3i. Oh my goodness, stop. Okay. 3i. And then the square root of negative 25 is 5i. And so we can multiply these. I is kind of treated like a variable for multiplying, adding, and subtracting. And dividing follows its own rules. So 15i squared. So I'm going to scroll up. Earlier we said that if it's I squared, we change it to negative 1. So that is going to become 15 times negative 1. So our final answer is negative 15. It's really dragging. Okay, the ink is dragging when I try to move my pen. All right, so for B, the square root of negative 15 is I radical 15. The square root of negative 3 is I radical 3. The 15 is under the radical and the 3 is under the radical, so we can put them together. I times I is I squared times the square root of, that's supposed to be a 4, 45. Now 45, if we think about the perfect squares like 4, 9, 16, 25, 9 is a factor of, oh my lordy, just want to write the number 9. 9 is a factor of 45 along with 5. So 9 times 5 is 45, and 9 happens to be a perfect square. So I can take the square root. The square root of 9 is just 3. So my final answer is 3i radical 5. Okay, I'm going to pause and try to fix my pen settings again. Okay, so for C, get my drawing back here. We're dividing. You can do this a couple different ways. You can put the radicals together under the division and work it out. I'm going to work out the top and then work out the bottom and see what happens. So if I work out the top, we already did radical negative 50. That's going to give us 5i radical 2. If I work out the bottom, that's just going to be I radical 2. And then, just like other division problems, the I divided by I divides off, oh goodness, divides off. The radical 2's divide off. This is just not my day for a digital pen. And your final answer is just 5. Okay, so pause the video, try these 3 multiplication sets. I'm just going to put up the answers, and then we're going to move on to ones that are a little bit more relevant to what we're doing for quadratics. All right, so for SP2 Part A, you should have gotten negative 28. For SP2 Part B, you should have gotten negative 2 radical 5. And then for C, you should have gotten 4. So if you need me to go over those, I'm happy to. Just email me. All right, this is more what we're going to see with quadratics. We're going to be using the quadratic formula, which you might already be familiar with, along with the square root property, and we're going to end up with answers that have square roots in them. And then sometimes those square roots are going to have negatives underneath, and we still have to be able to simplify our answer. So this is practice on simplifying our answer to where we write it with the real number first, plus or minus the imaginary number. So we're going to separate this into the real part and the imaginary part, and we write it together, and it's called a complex number. Part of it's real, part of it's imaginary. Together they call it complex, and that's going to be how we write our answers for these problems. So complex numbers is what they're called. So for 3 minus the square root of negative 100, that's going to be 3 minus, and the square root of negative 100 is 10i. So for me, I just write 3 minus 10i. The homework might have you write 3 plus negative 10i. To me, that's a little extra. You don't need to put the plus and the negative. You can just put the minus. But if your homework insists that this be a plus, then you'll just put a negative in front of your 10. On Part B and Part C, you have 2 terms on the top and 1 term on the bottom. And we need to separate this into 2 pieces that are not connected, or only connected rather with a plus sign, not a division bar. So we're just going to separate this into 2 over 5 plus 7 over 5. And the I that was on top, we're going to move it to the side. I know we've moved variables from the side to the top. Now we're moving it back off the top onto the side. So this is your A plus your B and then your I. So that's how we write the answer. We didn't really do anything there. We just separated each piece out. On C, this is a little bit more like what it's going to look like when we do quadratic formula. First thing we need to do is see if there's any perfect square factors on 18. And there's 9 and 2. So the square root of negative, oh my goodness, negative 18, it's still dragging, is 3i radical 2. When you're writing it with an integer and a radical, we kind of put the I in the middle. But for these, we're going to put an I at the end. So eventually we're going to move that I over, and I'll do that at the end. So we have negative 6 over 9 plus the square root of negative 18 became 3i radical 2 over 9. The next step is to reduce your fractions. So I don't know where I want to write this. I'm going to write it underneath. 6 over 9 reduces to negative 2 over 3. 3 over 9 reduces to 1/3. So if you divide by 3 and divide by 3, you get 1/3. But that 1 is being multiplied with the square root of 2. So we're just going to write the square root of 2 over 3. And then we're going to stick I on, oh my lordy, at the end. I'm sorry, this pen is just deciding to malfunction today. So negative 2 over 3 plus radical 2 over 3i would be your final answer. I'm going to pause there because these videos only record for 15 minutes. Try SP3. I will write down the answers at the beginning of the next video. Go ahead and pause and try SP3.